Can my relatives sponsor me for my visa application? So relatives can sponsor you, but it's not as simple as that. So I'll give an example. So if you are still very young, maybe you are less than 20 years or even less than 25 years, and your parents are sponsoring you, you know, it's easy to defend and say, yeah, my parents are sponsoring me for my study visa or even for a tourist visa. It's possible. Now, other relatives like my siblings, your uncles, your auntie, yes, they can sponsor you. They're allowed to sponsor you. It's not like it's wrong to sponsor you, but there are things that you have to show when they're sponsoring you that would make the visa officer look at your work and likely approve it. So when you are being sponsored by relatives, you need to show the link between you and that relative. So how are you related to the relative? You see your uncle. What documents do you have that can show that you are linked to the person? Has this person previously sponsored your education? So it's not just about saying my uncle will sponsor me, my auntie will sponsor me. What is the link between you and the person? And is there any previous history of sponsorship, or why is that uncle sponsoring you? You have to explain all that. So if you are being sponsored by a third party, like your uncle, your auntie, you need to explain why they are sponsoring you, and show evidence of how you are linked to them, how you are related to them, and you now also need to show how they got their funds. So apart from them giving you a bank statement, you want to collect documents from them like their business documents. If they're employees, you want to get letters of introduction from their workplace. You want to get their pay slips. You want to get even the employment letter or things to show how they got the funds that they use to sponsor you. Now, take notes. If you are being sponsored by third parties, the third party needs to have much more money in their account, because if your uncle is sponsoring you and he has just the exact amount that he wants to sponsor you in his account, what happens to his own family? Think about it. That's how visa officers have to look at it. So if your study is going to cost $50,000, and what your sponsor has in the account is just $45,000 or $48,000, why do you think the visa officer will believe that your uncle will actually release all his money for one person that is not even his child, and he will now be left with $2,000? It doesn't sound reasonable. So you have to look at all that. So if you are being sponsored by a third party, the third party must have much more money in their account that will take care of your studies or your trip, and they should also still have money in their account that will take care of themselves and their own family members. So if, for example, my uncle is sponsoring me now, I can show that, oh, my uncle is sponsoring me, all his kids are grown, he doesn't have anybody is spending so much money on anymore. You have to show those evidence. Those are things that the visa officer will see, and he can look at it and say, okay, well, yeah, there's a link between you and the person that is sponsoring you. The source of funds of your sponsor is clear, and it's not as if the sponsor is stressed in sponsoring you. So these are things that the visa officer look at when you are being sponsored by a third party, like a relative, like a relative. So if you want to migrate to Canada, you want to study in Canada, you want to visit Canada, you can reach out to me. My number is +1 587 568 6124.